Welcome to the Spare Parts Racing Podcast, your podcast for all things motorsports. With your hosts, Sean Chavarella, Stephen Clary, and Taylor Moore.
Hear that music?
Hello and welcome to another episode of Spare Parts Racing. I'm your host, Sean.
I'm Steven.
And I'm Taylor.
And Taylor, again today, you are away.
What?
We're together in the same room recording, and you're other places.
We've never
Well,
done
you
an
know
episode
what?
all together, so I don't
No,
know
we
if you can
haven't.
say that she's
We
technically
haven't.
We
away.
haven't.
I know.
We haven't planned this.
We never
if we
planned
plan this, it can happen.
Yeah,
That's fair.
there's some days where I just show up at Sean's door and it's like, yeah, okay, I guess we're doing this.
Yeah, it's like a stray puppy.
Hey, it's
We
really
give him some food and give him some beer, and he's good to go.
Difficult.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. It's very difficult. I live like an hour and a half away, so it's a little harder.
Again, we can plan these in person more in the future. Personally, I would love to do them all in person. That's how we started, right? We started doing these in person. Also, I love you
True.
burp casually, Steven, as we're doing this. Way to go.
Professionalism.
Anyway,
It's a
che-
Friday. It's a Friday.
It's a Friday. Cheers.
Yay!
Oh, let's make it good up here by the mic. Oh, that was good.
Ooh, cheers.
Anyway,
It's
so
Friday.
this week we have the greatest weekend in motorsports to talk about last week, and we have an upcoming Spanish Grand Prix to talk about, as well as a interesting Detroit race for IndyCar we can also dive into.
It's another triple header.
Ooh, yes.
Yes, it's another triple header, but
Well, NASCAR's on every weekend.
have more disdain there, Taylor, please.
NASCAR is on every weekend.
Thank you. That's better. Anyway, so let's start looking back at last week, because there is a lot to talk about there. A lot of good, a lot of bad.
Oof.
What race?
What should we start with?
Which race do you want to start with?
Do we just want to go
okay.
chronological? Just go through the entire day of Monaco,
Days.
Indy? Oh, yeah, I
Days.
guess days.
I was going to say days.
Yeah. We didn't really get
I'm
the
gonna-
whole...
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I'm going to put it out there. Did not pay attention to the Coke 600. Like, come Monday morning, it's a little hard.
I watched it at work. It was great.
Oh, I had the day off. I just watched it.
See?
Oh, good for you.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah, so let's start.
Monaco.
Yeah.
Oh, Monaco.
Saturday, fun. Sunday, boring.
Fun.
What? Sunday boring? It rained, Steven. Hello?
Yeah, and not
Were
a
you
whole
not
lot,
watching the
not
same
a
race
whole
that I
lot
was?
changed.
But, okay, do you have to have a fight for the lead for it to be entertaining?
No, I guess not.
Like,
if that's the expectation every week for Formula One, then yeah, we're screwed this year.
Yeah.
So,
But, like, okay, isn't it not fun, though, that we finally got something that was, like, a little bit more exciting? Like, it rained and no one was prepared. Well, some people were prepared, but the leaders weren't prepared, clearly. It's a little exciting. Like, who knows? If Aston Martin made a little bit of a better decision, we might have gotten an Alonso win.
For
Are you
anyone,
waiting for that?
for anyone not watching, I just threw my Aston Martin hat off.
and revealed his horrible hairline.
Here's what it is. I don't care. Anyway,
bad.
yeah, the Aston Martin thing fucking sucked. They blew it. They could have
They
won.
did. They did.
would have
They
won.
could have.
Yeah.
Oh, that was.
I
yeah.
understand why they made the call at the time. At the same time, what are you thinking?
True. Okay, so before we get into that, let's go team by team,
Okay.
because I think every team has something to talk about from Monaco. And first, I want to talk about Red Bull, because any hope Perez had at a championship fight died this weekend.
Died. Like, capital D died.
Yeah.
It was terrible. It was a terrible weekend for Checo.
Yeah, he completely forgot his race-winning strategy of crash out in Q3 and instead put himself at the back of the pack.
Yeah, that was a rough
So,
one.
kind of hard to win from 16th or wherever.
No, he
Or
started
nine-
last. He started
19th.
dead last,
Oh, yeah.
didn't he?
Yeah, dead last.
He was back row.
Because he wrecked early in Q1, and everyone else was able to go faster.
Yeah, he was back row.
Yeah, he was awful. Like, that's a terrible weekend. Unable to move through the field. Didn't even get into the points.
5 pit stops.
Yeah, really? He had 5 pit stops?
He had
Yeah, I think
5
so.
pit stops?
Here,
That's
double check.
insane.
5 pit stops or 5 stints? Like, with 4 stops?
I'll double check.
Okay.
That's
But yeah.
insane.
And Max drove a perfect weekend to basically get pole. And, like, that Saturday, qualifying, exciting as hell. Because it's constant action on track. They never go into pit. Or when they do go into pit, they get screwed over by, like, a stupid waiting bridge rule. But I'll get to that later. Yeah, so watching the final seconds of Q3 was some of the most exciting motorsports I have watched all year. With Alonso on pole, you're like, oh my god, is he going to do it?
Oh, I know.
Looking at the timings, Max down like 2/10 going into the third sector.
I
It's
know.
going to happen. Alonso's going to get on pole. And then out of nowhere, Max Verstappen pulls the reverse Ross Chastain and rides the inside of like the swimming pool section. And then like he just wall rode the car all around there and managed to beat him out. And I was like, that was amazing. I've never seen a series of corners that literally left me like jaw on the floor, like how?
He found 3/10 in the shortest sector of the track somehow.
Of the calendar.
Yeah.
I will say, like, that definitely speaks to Verstappen's skill as a driver, where he can find an advantage in the most I guess, like, the place that you wouldn't see normally an advantage. So good for him, but I cannot tell you how disappointed I was when he got pole, because I was so happy when Alonso got it. I was like, oh my gosh, like, maybe this is it. He'll get Monaco, and no.
This weekend was the biggest tease for Aston Martin.
Yeah.
Yes.
From like,
But, like, at the same time, though, good for them, because it really does prove how competitive they are with the Red Bull car.
yeah. But I heard a great thing about their strategy call and how they blew it with Alonso. Now I guess we're on to Aston Martin. They were too focused behind them and not in front of them. And that's the same attitude that Ferrari always has that fucks them over. Don't focus on the attack or defend. Focus on the attack. Best defense is good offense. Right?
But
Please,
defense wins
Ferrari.
championships.
Oh, sorry, not Ferrari.
So good offense wins championships.
Sure.
Yeah, see?
Not at all what I said, but sure.
You said defense wins championships.
Yeah.
I said best defense is good offense.
Oh, okay, sure.
So you need the offense to win.
Thank you, Sun
Yeah,
Tzu.
look.
Thank you, Sun Tzu.
Bottom line, Aston Martin, please do not take a page out of Ferrari's book. Whatever you do, do not.
Yeah, please don't.
It has never worked out for them.
We have enough people on this podcast with high blood pressure, so we don't need to. I don't need to be added to that list.
Who has high blood pressure?
I'm assuming you being a Ferrari fan and also being like the chronic, like you're embodied of a 27-year-old, but like, or yeah, 27-year-old, but your soul is like 80. So I'm assuming the blood pressure's there too.
Rude.
But am I wrong?
No, but whatever.
See, exactly.
You know what? At least I go to bed late. Some days.
Exactly.
Well, how long did we stay up for after the stag and doe?
Let's not talk about that.
I'm talking about going to
The
bed
next
late.
morning.
Crazy kids.
Yeah. So you had Aston Martin doing the good stuff, at least one half the garage, and then you had Lance Stroll, and
Oh, Lance.
Stroll had a really bad Monaco, and even listening today on listening to practice and radio, and the commentary talking about does Lance Stroll have to go out of Aston Martin? And my whole reaction to this is, Jesus fucking Christ! It was like one bad weekend. Like he's had some
One bad
like,
weekend.
he's had bad luck to really start this season.
I think it's more the fact that he isn't showing the same pace as Alonso.
Did we ever expect him to? Let's be honest.
No.
But come on.
That's what I think a lot of commentators are looking at is you have Alonso up here and you have Stroll here.
Well, yeah.
So
I'm sorry, but like, okay, I'm sorry, but some commentators, honestly, like when they draw comparisons, sometimes it really is a square peg in a round hole.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, you cannot compare Lance Stroll to Alonso in the same way. Like, Alonso is what? How many championships does he have? 3, 4? 3?
2.
2. Okay, so he still has 2 world championships. Lance has been with Williams, and then he was with Racing Point, and now he's with Aston Martin. Like, he hasn't been given a car that's like incredible the same way that Alonso has had opportunities to be in teams that are very successful.
this is the first
Even
really
before
good
he's
car
gotten there.
he's had.
Like, I'll be honest.
Yes.
I don't think Lance Stroll is a bad driver. He is not a should be out of F1 guy, but he's kind of the
I
same as
totally agree.
he's the same as Perez. Always that guy who's in back marker, middle of the pack kind of teams. Perez gets the drive of his life driving for Red Bull, and that's been okay. But he's not challenging Max like on pace. We can see that. Like, he's there to clean up the scraps when Max fails. And that's kind of what Stroll's been doing. Like, he's still, 6th in the championship or something like that? Place you see.
Yeah.
Like, he's not bad. He had surgery to start the season. He had a bad tire strategy call in qualifying in Miami that screwed him over. And then, what is he?
He's 8th.
8th? Okay.
He's behind the Ferraris
Okay, well.
and just ahead of Ocon after.
Terrible.
The Ferraris did good this weekend, though. They got points, right? And then Stroll
even
had bad
eight.
luck in the whole freaking, what's it called? The weighbridge thing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Small rant on that. That is the stupid. I hate the lack of use of technology in F1 for this.
Yeah.
Like, why? So, if you missed it, was when Stroll was getting, it was Q2, right? I think or 3.
2. Yeah.
One at the end of one of his runs in qualifying, I think in the middle of the session, he pulls into pit lane. As he's going by where he would turn into the weighbridge, they flash his number to call him in, and then say, "Oh, how do you miss that?" How about you give him a slight heads up before that? Like, you don't need to tell him as soon as he ends his lap, because then we all know they would go pick up all the marbles and the weight would be. But like, you can tell him 2 turns before the end. If that's gonna change whether the weight is legal or not, they're probably already on the illegal side. No, right?
You would think, yeah.
And also, here's the other thing. Here's the other problem I have. The steward, or whatever the technical designation of the guy at the weighbridge, he wasn't even moving. He wasn't even ready for a car.
So you call the guy in that wasn't ready,
You're not ready to receive him.
and then he lost all his time and didn't get to set another lap in Q2.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, so and everyone's like, oh, he didn't get out of Q2, he's so bad. It's like, no, he didn't get a chance to set a lap because of the just unlucky procedures. And honestly, could have happened to anyone. If it happened to if it happened to like a Piastri or to like a Hulkenberg or something, people maybe don't bat an eye. But it's Stroll, and your teammate ends up going P2, and you're meanwhile not out of Q2.
Stupid procedure, unlucky that it happened to you.
Yeah, agreed.
It's a stupid procedure.
Yes, it is.
Two turns before. Hey, Lance, come into the weighbridge. Okay, done. Simple.
Yeah.
If you can pick up enough marbles to change the weight of your car enough to manipulate whatever the designation is on the weighbridge with 2 turns of marbles, I will applaud the hell out of you.
Or maybe just don't have the weighbridge in that situation there at Monaco.
Yeah.
Again,
just use a fucking radio and talk to people.
Yeah. Or like you could designate them in the swimming pool section. Thing flash up. Okay, here I go in.
Yeah.
Like there's sort of things you could do.
You don't. Yeah. just because these guys have some of the fastest reaction times in the world doesn't mean you have to test it every time they come in for on the weighbridge.
Yes. So anyway, that's Red Bull and Aston. I guess we should talk Alpine because Ocon got a podium.
Good for him.
Yeah, SD Bestie, which I love.
SD Bestie's on the podium, baby.
I love when he said that. Yeah. Not gonna lie, that was great.
SD Bestie. Yeah, good for him. He had a really good weekend.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm surprised that we mentioned Alpine and like Sarah wasn't summoned.
I know, right? Like usually, like.
Well, that's why I turned around and half expected like Kool-Aid Man style French noises coming
Alpine?
Break the door.
SD Bestie? Oh yeah, or what would that
Oui,
be?
oui.
French? Exactly. Thank you.
Oui, oui.
Bonjour.
Anyway, yeah.
I think all of them are good.
Très bien.
You lost it. Yeah. Rule of 3, Steven. Rule of 3.
No.
Okay. So yeah, Esty got the podium, and
Yeah.
did he earn the podium, or did Ferrari choke it away?
Can the answer be yes?
Yes, I think it can. I think in this
Both?
situation it can be. Yeah.
Like both? I don't know. I'm real tired. I don't know, guys. I stopped watching Ferrari in the races now because I just can't.
Like, because here's the thing. He did a very good job to hold off signs the entire time and was driving with a damaged car. Not like overly significant damage, but there was damage, right?
Yep.
We knew that. From clashing with signs.
Signs clashing with him.
Yeah, semantics. But for whatever reason, Ferrari also didn't really prioritize. Like you said before, they were more worried about Hamilton behind them than attacking Ocon in front of them. So
Joke's on them. Both got by.
yeah,
Huh.
it helps when your closest competitor is fighting with his team holding one of his arms back.
That's fair.
So good. So yes to both.
Yeah, it's
Both is good.
And then Gasly was also 7th. I don't really have any notes on Gasly. He was just there.
No, but that's a good weekend for Alpine.
Yeah.
Two cars in the points and getting
It was a
significant
good weekend
points.
for them.
Two cars in the top 7.
Yeah.
Good for them.
Especially after some like really horrible weekends that have went terribly wrong for them. I'm glad that they had both cars in the points and one of them got a podium. So good for them.
Yeah.
Well, and after a week where you get called out by ownership on your performance to start the season.
That was weird.
Yeah.
That was weird. Because I don't understand why you're surprised you're not fighting with the big 3, but like at the same time, or I guess the big 4. But now it seems like it's a top 2, and you've actually almost caught up to the other 2, especially with the performance this weekend. So, Alpine in general is coming along, and they're the number 5 team. Solidly, like, they are the cutoff of the midfield. If you're a team below Alpine, you beat them, it's a good weekend. If you're a top 4 team and Alpine beats you, you fucked up. Speaking of fucking up, so Mercedes, they abandoned the 0 side pod.
It's about
Right.
time.
And Ferrari today in Spain showed their new side pods. I just want to say, when everyone gave Aston Martin shit for copying the Red Bulls, everyone was like, oh, they're such a cheating team, yada yada. Mercedes and Ferrari does it. Great design. Way to take from the top guys. Such a piss off. I'm sorry. I hate it when everyone gives shit for one team for quote unquote copying, and yet other teams do it, and it's not even a problem. Everyone copies.
I know.
The issue isn't the copying; it's that everyone copies. Get over it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's something like that in every sport.
Exactly.
So.
It's just it bugs me. Okay.
Oh yeah, 100%. Again, you could draw some sort of parallel to every single sport.
Yeah.
So it's no surprise that it has also infiltrated its way into F1.
Yeah.
But
So Mercedes finished 4th.
It's a good weekend.
Good weekend for them.
Yeah.
Beat Ferrari.
Beat Ferrari, that's really all you can ask for.
Yeah.
You're not keeping up with the Astons, so.
Yeah, and then Ferrari was 6th and 8th, so rough weekend for them. Charles finished a race in Monaco.
He finished and got points. Took a grid penalty.
Yeah.
Look, you know what? I'm giving up hope. And that's a lot for me to say, but I'm giving up hope that Charles is ever going to win a Monaco race.
That's smart to believe now. I'm proud of you, Taylor.
Wow. Thank you.
No one's ever said that to her before, I guess. That's okay. We can have a group therapy session later.
Okay, first off. Okay, no, it's just you.
Oh, it's me saying it. Okay.
It's you.
Me being nice. Okay, that's fair.
You're disappointed in me for something.
But I will say, at the Monaco Grand Prix as a whole, the race was boring until the rain came.
Yeah. Rain is the great equalizer and causes all chaos.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was a typical Monaco until the rain came and you're like, wow, something spicy.
For that 10-lap window, it was spicy.
Yeah.
When they were tiptoeing through the wet, I guess, northern part of the circuit, just trying to get through, and then eventually became full wet. That was great.
Lance Stroll played bumper cars by himself.
Okay, and I feel bad for Stroll. Again, bit of a homer bias here. But
It's a little.
if you look at this race and how much contact there was between car on barrier, just things, people hitting everything. Those cars this weekend were built tough. Everyone found a barrier at least once and hit something. And there was no one broke anything. Except fucking Stroll is the guy who makes a light tap on a barrier and fucking breaks his car.
Yeah.
It's
Was it Russell backing up into Perez
Yeah.
after they both went off, and they both kept going? I was shocked.
Yeah. There was the signs slid into the barrier, which is usually a death sentence for a car. Nah, no problem. Kept going.
It probably helps that this is a super slow course.
But that's what I mean. Stroll hit the wall in literally the slowest corner on the calendar.
Yeah.
Done. But everyone else can fucking hit everything and ride the walls and catch a thing here, go inside and catch the wall. Everyone's car is fine. And again, Stroll with the bad luck for this year hits the wall and is done.
The duality of F1 cars.
Honestly.
Yeah.
I was impressed how many cars stayed in this race.
Yes. I know. My predictions went to shit, very quickly.
Did you want to go? Did you want to go through the rest of the teams, or is it just
It's
everyone else parade?
It was Yeah. I do find it somewhat funny though that we're talking about Monaco being a boring race, and this weekend we're heading to Spain, which is
even more
also
boring.
one of the more boring races on the calendar.
Yeah, and everyone's excited that everyone brought upgrades. It's going to be a close race. Red Bull also brought upgrades.
Mm-hmm.
They also look great.
Come on.
Still.
Sure. You had your hope.
I won $10 today betting on Max for being fastest in practice 1 and 2.
You won $10 on that? I'm very surprised.
The best advice Steven ever gave me when it came to betting in F1. If it's plus odds on Max, you take it.
Fair enough.
And for some reason, everyone thought everyone else is going to be faster in practice. So Max was plus odds. So it's why would you not take that?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, we'll talk about Spain later. Don't worry. Come back to that.
So are we done with Monaco?
I think we're done for Monaco.
Saturday more entertaining than Sunday, minus the rain section.
Yes.
Basic.
Let's talk about Indy. I really want to talk about Indy.
Okay. There's really 3 main things we need to talk about for Indy, though, right?
Yes.
There's the tire.
Yep.
Yes.
There is the red flags.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And there's just Joseph Newgarden finally winning the Indy 500.
And having the best celebration ever.
That too.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
All 3 points approved.
I want to start with Newgarden because I think Newgarden deserved that win.
He was definitely not
yeah.
undeserving. I will put it that way.
That is fair.
I
That's
agree
fair.
with Steven. He is definitely not undeserving of that win, and I was happy with both outcomes because I know we're gonna get to the red flags, but I agree with Steven and how he worded that.
I mean, we could talk. It's all encompassing. The red flags, the who won.
It's all kind of like looped into
it
one,
is.
but like we can kind of section off like how great of a celebration Newgarden had after he won. Like,
But
yeah,
he's
we're
a
really
hard-fought guy who's been in the series forever. Your typical American, come up through the system, do it the right way, in air quotes.
If it was gonna be one of the top 3, glad it was him and not the other option.
Oh, the other American who NBC decided just to suck the dick of Ferrucci the entire time. Yeah, that was really fun.
I don't know how many times we said that in our group chat while we were watching the 500, like just how awful it was.
Okay, there was a thread on the IndyCar subreddit being like, can these guys fucking chill on Ferrucci?
I know,
And
it was terrible.
Like there was so much hype on Ferrucci, and yet not on Newgarden being there.
Or any of the other, 10 Americans in the field.
Like, I felt kind of bad for everyone else. Like, do you not... I get it. The Ferrucci winning story would have been fun. Young American wins it. Does it for AJ Foyt, whose wife just died. I get that storyline would be great. Yes. Yeah.
But, there were other storylines that are also great. Like, the Newgarden storyline, great.
Fantastic.
Ericsson would have also been a good storyline.
Back-to-back would have been amazing. It hasn't happened in, 20 years.
Because he would get $400,000, I think is the rolling total now.
Well, Newgarden went home with 3-point-something million.
No, but there's the back-to-back.
Yeah, you get a bonus for back-to-back.
Yeah, you get a bonus.
And since it's been 20 years since it's happened, it's at $400,000.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah, we'll get to it in a second. I'll leave it for
Yeah.
Anywho.
So
we all have feelings.
Yes.
I was incredibly excited for Newgarden to win over Ericsson. Nothing against Ericsson. He's already had one. It's fine. But for Newgarden to get it, I felt that was a very good guy for the sport. He's always been there. He's done the time. He's won the championship. Never won the actual 500.
Mm-hmm.
Really good story for him to win. And the celebration where he just gets out and just jumps into the crowd. Amazing.
That was fantastic.
9 out of 10. 10 out of 10 if he crowd surfed.
Yes. 10 out of 10 if he did that. But a 9, I feel like a 9.5, because it was still really, really, really good.
Fine.
Just missing that little bit of zhuzh.
Honestly, original. I was dying smiling, just laughing at how awesome that moment was. And there was a cheap copycat the next day, but we'll get to that.
Yeah, I obviously y'all know my feelings on the whole thing. Again, happy for Newgarden. I just, there is a part of me that does feel like it was not a fair situation that happened.
If they handle it slightly, I don't think anyone will ever take it away from Newgarden. I just think there's a lot of people that wish it was handled slightly differently.
Okay,
that's
so
fair. Yeah,
I say let's do this chronological. I think to get you need to do it
we have three red flags to talk about.
Yeah. So
yes,
and the first red flag was the one where Rosenquist hit the wall, collected Kirkwood, tire went flying.
Totally warranted.
And hit the car. Yeah.
Yeah, hit the car. Hit Snowball. The car's named Snowball.
Yes.
Aw.
Yeah.
Rip car.
I guess, quick aside on the tire thing. Did you see the thing about that? Anything?
Oh, where with the lady who owns Snowball?
Yes. What's her name? It was I know I had it saved somewhere in here. I think it was Robin something?
Yeah.
Robin Matthews was her name. Yeah.
Yes.
She owned the car. Also, her outfit was amazing for the day. It was just all checkered flag. Fucking
it was
great.
a checker. Yeah, I know. That was so great. When you sent that in the group chat, I was like, wow. just an icon
Yeah.
for the race, right? Like, hasn't she been going for like ever or something like that?
Yeah, like a long time person going there. Her car gets hit by the tire, and one thing I love about it was her response afterwards, like, I don't care about the car. I'm happy that tire didn't hit anyone. And really,
Yes.
like, in the moment of that accident, I think for those who saw the tire immediately fly off, like I did, I was one of those people. I was like, holy fuck! I didn't even care about Kirkwood upside down sliding. I'm like, he's fine. He's fucking fine. Where did that tire go?
Because it just missed the grandstand.
It just missed the grandstand.
I was like, this could be a very long red flag.
That could have been a mass casualty event real fast.
Well, the thing is too, right? It's like I didn't see the tire fly off until you said something, and then on the replay, I was watching for it, and I was like, "Holy crap! How close it was to potentially killing somebody at that event? Because it would have, like, it would have probably killed multiple people.
Yes,
to be honest,
you're 100% right.
Right? Like, thank goodness it missed.
Yeah, Snowball was sacrificed so that
for the sake of human lives attending the, like, and honestly, like, I know that we talk about it, like, yes, motorsports is dangerous, but it is the risk that you take attending events like that. Like, it is a real thing, right? I know, like, things like that still happen regardless of how safe the event is and how far safety has come. It's
IndyCar dodged a bullet.
They really did, but I'm just so thankful that it didn't hit anybody.
Yeah. So.
And also, that was Taylor's reaction was the exact same reaction that was over the radio. I think it was. Who was it? Who was just in front of Kirkwood?
Ferrucci.
It was his radio where he's like, "Holy!" His crew chief's like, "Wow, you missed that man," and he just goes, "Holy shit!"
Yeah.
That was the great bit of radio.
It was really weird though. So the onboard of like Kirkwood when he flipped upside down. He just opened his visor.
Why?
I'm guessing that's just instinct of okay, rack visor up. It's like I think you saw in his eyes. He's like, oh wait, I shouldn't have done that.
No sparks are flying.
Yeah.
Open visor.
Also, I really hated people that were like, oh, the halo saved him. The roll hoop saved him. Yeah. That was the important tech there, not the halo. Halo didn't do shit there.
No. The roll hoop.
Yeah. But anyway, just a minor aside. Yeah. So that red flag we can all agree is justified.
Yes, 100%.
Yes, 100%
the second the tire left the track, red flag, make sure everyone's okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
You might have to cut the cameras pretty quick here. So
justifiable.
No, hands down.
Red flag.
Yeah.
Second red flag. That was 6 laps to go.
Mm-hmm.
That was Pato and Ericsson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So about 10 laps.
Well.
Justifiable or not?
So hold on, did Pato not collect some people too?
So Ericsson and Pato are battling for second.
Also, that's some beef now too between them.
Well, so
whatever.
So Newgarden's taken off. Ericsson's got the lead into T3, and Pato makes a late move.
He does. He puts it on the grass.
Yeah.
It's a late move that he probably doesn't necessarily need to make. He said he was trying to stay in touch with Newgarden. You guys can probably catch him on the start-finish straight with the draft. I don't think it's... He's a young guy making an aggressive move to try and win a 500.
Because he lost last year not making the move.
Exactly.
Yes.
So, I kind of get it. But yeah, he's got beef with now Ericsson and Dixon. So he's just going to end up fighting all of Ganassi by the end of this.
Just, come on, let me at him.
Yeah. Which car does he run into next?
So, Pato goes off, and then... Oh.
And then McLaughlin hit...
Yes.
Pagano,
and then
Canapino hit the wall.
Canapino dies.
He hit the wall also somehow. I think he got hit into the wall.
Yeah.
And then he had no brakes.
Canapino got hit, I think, by one of the cars. I don't think he went into the wall, but then his brakes got lost.
No,
he did?
Because he was damaged. That's why he had no brakes. And his car hit Pato's.
Yeah. All right. So it was a mess.
I think at that point, do not red flag that one.
No.
There was enough space.
You tried to get your shootout moment.
Yeah.
And then it didn't happen. So
I thought
at that point with like under 10 to go, under 8 to go basically. This yellow with under 8 to go. It's good. Just wave the yellow. Have it come home.
Yeah.
Get out of there. You just saw a tire fly out of the stands. You got to be thinking also safety.
No, I'd like to double down instead.
Yeah, how many rolls of the dice do you want? And then
all of them.
And then so you had that red flag. Then you had the third red flag, which was
stupid.
The wreck on the restart.
Yeah.
Yeah. At that point,
was
again,
the most ridiculous.
Just run it out. Stop. And then you had a red flag for 1 lap to go.
Yeah.
Which was so like yeah. It was the whole thing. The last red flag that they did, I was like, why are we doing this? At that point, with that many laps to go, you just call the race.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing that I was questioning at the time. It's not so much the red flag. It's why did we let the entire field that was left go in between the cars that are sitting on either side of the track
and not go down the pit lane?
And not go down the pit lane and then just red flag it there. Why did we need to parade them around another lap? Like, just you have 2.5 miles to figure it out. Say, hey guys, there's debris all over the front straight.
Yeah.
Go down the pit lane. We're going to red flag this thing and have 2 laps to go instead of just 1.
Wow, then you get your proper procedure of going out, doing your pace lap, and then going.
Yeah.
Would have made more sense.
It would have made more sense.
They dropped the
still
ball.
Stupid.
100%. They fucked up.
Yeah. And like, regardless of whether or not obviously, no secret on this podcast, I am a fan of Ericsson. Like, regardless of whether or not he was in first, I still think it was a bad call. Like, even if Newgarden was in first or Perucci was in first, like, I would have made the same statement. Like, it was dumb. They totally dropped the ball in this whole thing. They really should have handled that better.
Yeah, it's just a bunch of head-scratching decisions at the end of it. That's really all you can say about it.
Honestly, yeah.
But
at the end of the day, you had 2 guys really deserving of the win. One guy feels like he was robbed, and no matter what way the red flags would have flown, someone would have felt robbed either way.
Yes.
No, and that's it, right? Like,
it's
regardless.
Also very uncharacteristic procedure, right? Like to do a rollout and just start, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was totally again. They made it up as they went.
Yep, and that's sadly just the way I think motorsports is going right now. Is that we would need a green flag.
You need the entertainment.
Yeah.
But and that's the thing though. It's like it's not the reality of motorsports though, right?
No.
When you have incidents on track like that, and you have the rules in place, the reality is that not every single race is going to finish under a green flag, and you have to learn to live with that.
Yes.
How much are you going to sacrifice the actual product
or person
for whatever, right? Like whatever made up entertainment that you think is going to draw people in. Honestly, I think it makes people more frustrated because they understand the rules of the sport than it actually does providing people with the entertainment aspect of the product, right?
And when you open the Pandora's box of the red flags, you get the issue where people now expect to always get that red flag with however many laps to go to get the finish. And
I think it ruins it.
Exactly. Like, for example, if the second red flag doesn't happen and we just go through it and it's like, okay, we're done, we're finished, people walk away from that being like, you know what? That was a pretty exciting race, some big wrecks, stuff happened. Okay, we're done. Instead, we drag it out for another half an hour, 45 minutes to get another red flag, and then to get another restart, and to get 1 lap. Like, it actually doesn't help your actual racing product. Yeah, it might make the last lap exciting and must watch, but you know what? You're not watching for the last lap. You're watching for the whole event.
Yes.
And to see those guys get to the front to earn that you shouldn't be lucked into a win. And if Ferrucci had won because the top 2 guys took each other out going for it, I would have been so pissed.
Yeah.
Because like it's that to me would have been an unworthy win because you didn't do anything. You just wait for the other guys to screw up because that's what the higher ups want because they want the ratings.
Yeah, no,
Thankfully, it
and I
didn't
said
happen.
this, guys, I would have flipped tables. I would have been so mad if Ferrucci somehow won that race because of all the stupidity that was going on with these red flags.
Like, it felt like they were trying to get him to win.
Yes. Well, like, honestly, though, when you look at the whole race and you hear all the commentary and then all of this tomfoolery is going on, it starts to feel that way.
Yeah, it feels like they're trying to fix it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get people not interested in the product.
Well, and so the other, I think, note we got to take away from this is, until they come out with a rule, this is now precedent.
Yeah.
I know,
To
right?
throw red
And
flags.
that's so disappointing.
Yep. And now, unless they come out with a rule, yes, guys will feel like they're screwed. But I feel like if this ends under yellow, Newgarden, he's frustrated. Don't get me wrong, like, because it's been now 12 years since he's come into IndyCar, and he still can't get it done, and he's so close to lose on a second last lap yellow. Yeah, it sucks. You feel like you're robbed because you feel like you had a car that could win. But at the same time, this has happened before at this event. So sidetracking a little bit, who did we celebrate all weekend leading into this race?
Tony Kanaan.
How did he win his Indy 500?
Thank you to Takuma Sato for wrecking out.
Under a yellow. So,
Right.
like, it happens. It's
It is.
gonna happen.
And does that take away from his win at all that it was under yellow?
No.
Not at all.
No, he
No.
spent the time he did some interviews before, and he was reflecting on that win, and he's like, I made a move to go for it, and I was going to live with the consequences of if I don't get a yellow, I could get passed because I'm not in a good spot.
Yeah.
But you know what? I lucked out. I made a move to try and win and put myself in a spot to win, and I got a yellow that sealed my victory. And
The track chooses the winner.
yes.
And that's why I felt the second red flag shouldn't have been. Because it was just a wreck. It was a simple wreck. There was no reason to red flag except for entertainment value. First one, big wreck, potential wall damage,
Potential
tire
injury.
over the fucking fence, red flag it. Figure shit out. Second wreck, okay, that's just a guy who spins, hits the wall, some other guys check up, hit it. That's fine. Shouldn't red flag. If you end under yellow, it's like, okay, we did our parade, yada yada. If that happened, Newgarden's the winner at that point. But then we get the other restart. And then Ericsson's ahead at that restart. Oh, but we get another red flag. So Ericsson's ahead. And the second restart happens, and then now Newgarden beats him. So, by my logic, Newgarden should have been the winner the whole time, because that second red flag should never have happened.
In
Fair
the end,
enough.
it ended how it should have.
Yes.
Yeah, it was meant to be, like, Newgarden was just meant to have his win, and at the end of the day, regardless of what happened, I'm happy with that.
Yes.
And honestly, if it ends under that yellow, is Ericsson still pissed? Yeah, he's still pissed.
Yeah.
But you know what? He can't say anything other than, I was second when the yellow came out, and the race ended. I didn't get a chance.
Yeah.
It sucks. I wish I had it, but I didn't.
Yeah,
It's the way
and
it
that's-
is.
that's
And it's
fair.
the way for
It is-
everyone.
Yep.
I will say this is the first Indy 500 I've watched from start to finish, so
It was a good race all
It
around.
was.
it was actually
It was
good,
entertaining.
and I will
Clean
watch
for 100
next
laps.
year.
Right?
Yeah.
The only incidents we had were
Pit lane.
Catherine Legg having that was a little weird how often that happened.
It happens every year at the 500. They choke on pit lane.
Yes. No,
Like,
no, but
literally choke.
like the amount of guys that were maybe they just paid more attention to it with the camera work this year, but the amount of fishtails, and I guess part of it is also VK getting into Pelot.
Yeah.
Right. So.
Yes.
But on that same replay, you can see Rossi's doing it.
Yep.
Someone else further down the pit lane
Daly was doing it.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, guys are getting loose because they're trying to stay into that lane, so they're a little harder on the wheel.
Yep.
Trying to get the power down, and yeah, it happens every year. They choke in pit lane and someone hits something.
Yep. But
It's kind of funny.
but at the same time, because I feel like he deserves a shout out for coming all the way back to P7.
Below?
Yeah.
Think so. I'll
But-
pull it up.
They were talking like he was out after that pit stop.
Yeah, they
so
were.
he had a great recovery.
Yeah, he had a very good drive.
It was a great recovery drive for him. Earned him the points lead. He's 20 points up.
Yes. Yes, he did.
So, not a surprise, but he did not win from pole. Never happens.
No.
Surprise.
But then again, we got a winner from the field outside the top 12, so
We did.
Yes.
Who had him again?
we can go after that later.
Okay.
I have the whole breakdown.
Do you have the results? I'm so
I do.
disappointed.
We're going.
but okay.
We're going to the end, or we'll do it at the end.
Fair enough. So that one got 500?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. The only other thing of note was the I was listening to Rossi and Hinchcliffe's podcast, and it was like the other thing that they were sort of complaining about was the jump starts.
Okay, that was a thing?
Well, because who was it? Was it Eilit's restart that got waved off when he was leading?
No.
It was Award.
Award.
It was Award's because he was too slow. And so Rossi was like, yeah, further back in the field, there was guys jumping before we saw green on the pylon the entire time, and I don't get why we didn't, like, half of those didn't get waved off.
Yeah.
Because he was like, I feel like I lost so many positions, and some of the other drivers feel kind of robbed too, just from the fact that a lot of guys felt like they were jumping before we could have started, and only one was waved off because the Award was going way too slow. So, like, I get why he did it, because every single restart, the leader got jumped on the main straight. Funny enough, the only one who didn't was Ericsson.
And then he got jumped to the back
And
straight.
then he got jumped on the back straight. But
Yeah.
he was like, I felt robbed because I was the only one who led into T2 of the restarting leaders. So that's the only other thing I can think of for the 500. We already mentioned.
Oh, yeah, Pilot was 4th, by the way.
Oh, he's 4th. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did Newgarden in the crowd. Commentators stroking off Ferrucci other than Hinch.
I think that's all for the 500.
I was gonna say the only other thing tied to the Ferrucci thing
Yeah.
was the penalty non-penalty.
Oh, yeah, and they were fighting, like, Townsville's like, that should be, that's not a penalty, and Hinch is like, it's out of the fucking box.
It was a loose, so it was the loose front left outside of the box, uncontrolled until the front right guy reaches behind him and grabs it, and then Townsend's like, that was under control the entire time. And Hinch just turns and is like, I'm sorry, what?
I know, right? I love Hinch's commentary. I really do.
Hinch was the top commentator.
Right?
He was. He is the top commentator now. He is. I'm tired of the other guys.
I was gonna say the only thing that came, or I guess, Tirico and Danica Patrick were good too. The reaction on one of the restarts was great when there was like 4 wide, and they're all just like,
yeah,
that was great. But yeah, that part
irked you.
I mean, there was a lot of it, as we've already gone over. But that specifically was like, what are we talking about? That's a penalty through and through. The tires. If this was NASCAR and you didn't have
there's black and white rules.
Yes.
For a reason to these things.
Yes, and I'm glad Hinch. Like, you don't get a whole lot of commentators calling each other out.
Yeah.
In the middle of a race.
And like calling out the bias, basically. They'd be like, no, that's a penalty.
No, and then Hinch stood his ground. No, that's a penalty, and I'm not changing my mind.
I wish they could drop F-bombs in there.
And I'm so glad that he was there to do that, and he wasn't afraid to argue because it was needed.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, can we rate these broadcasts PG-13 so they get 1 F-bomb and they have to choose how to? But they would all want. They would all want one. They would all want one, and that's the problem.
Yeah, that'd be good.
PG-14 or 14A.
Yeah.
Multiple.
Yes.
Anyway, so that's 500. That's Monaco, and now we have the Coke 600.
Sorry, I was just trying to delay the Coke 600 because it was delayed in real life too.
Facts.
You're an asshole.
Okay, here's the thing. I found this really funny because when, like, I feel like it's a NASCAR thing. They just really don't like to race in the rain, and I get it. It's a safety thing. Whatever.
I mean, you can't on ovals. They don't have tires for it yet.
True, they don't
They're
have the tires for
finally
it.
working on it, but it's a long way away.
I just find it was just funny. After the weekend that we had at the track with NASCAR Pinties, it was funny.
That's fair.
Anyway, I did not watch this race.
I actually don't recall a lot of this race.
It would,
because it took forever.
Yeah. Well, and you were
that's
also at
fair.
work, so.
Yeah, but
And I mean, and
yeah.
600 miles, it's sort of similar to the Indy 500. The first little bit is everybody scrambles for a position, gets into place, and then we have to wait till there's a caution of some sort, whether it's the stage, because there's 4 stage cautions, or 4 stages, and there was actually quite a few cautions as well. But it was good that it wasn't. I think so. I thought this race was pretty good. Getting to watch it, the only thing that sucked was the length but that's also partially due to a rain delay in the middle of it.
Yeah.
But it was it was a good race overall, because I think the biggest takeaway you could have is that the intermediate package is fantastic, because it's not just the back markers or the part timers that are struggling. Everybody was struggling. Harvick was making mistakes. Larson was making mistakes. Guys, where if this is the short track or the super speedway, unless it's a big one, they are not making mistakes, and that you could tell that they're racing on the edge, which is what you want from your NASCAR package.
Yeah.
And the intermediate package right now is perfect right now. We loved Kansas. That was 1.5 miles. Charlotte's been good the last 2 years for this event. Like, they've nailed this one.
Yeah, it works really well for this one. For the high banking intermediate package, really good. And like, you had guys who were, you had the comers and goers. Like, you had guys who would fall back. You had guys that would make their way back up. Like, towards the end, you had it was Blaney and Byron.
Yep.
But at a certain point in the race, those 2 guys weren't up there.
No, Byron was down in 30th at one point, and he just slowly snaked his way back up.
Yeah, like, you had, I think, like, at one point it was like Larson and Harvick were some of the top runners, and maybe like Hamlin was up there too and stuff. It was like, okay, yeah. And yeah, it worked out pretty well. I think we should talk about Hamlin and Chase Elliott.
Yeah.
Because you can't do that.
No. And by that, you mean...
Okay, what happened?
So, Hamlin and Elliott were battling for position middle of, like, the second stage.
Literally unnecessary.
Yeah. Hamlin doors him, walls him,
yeah.
which is what is just shoving him up into shoving Chase Elliott up into the wall on the outside.
And you can just use the excuse, "Oh, I was loose, my bad."
And Chase Elliott just right rear pit maneuvers Hamlin into the wall. He goes in 90 degrees right on the wall. Front end's crunched.
He's done.
Oof.
And we already have the result of Chase Elliott has been suspended for 1 race, which I think is right.
100%. That's the rule.
I feel like that's fair.
If you wreck a guy, you get suspended.
Yeah.
There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Yeah. And I love how after the race, Hamlin got on the Twitter and was like, "Look at the telemetry. Look at this. He did it on purpose. This is him wrecking me."
He went straight and then went left, which is not uncharacteristic on a left-hand only oval, other than the fact that it was on a straightaway and he shouldn't be turning left.
Yeah.
So.
It was funny. And yeah, the suspension warranted.
Yeah. So, Chase Elliott out for another race. He's got what, 11 races left now, and if it wasn't must win before, it's a must win to get into the playoffs now.
He'll win.
Probably, but
probably will.
I have a sinking feeling what will happen is we're going to get down to about 4 races to go. He'll be up there at one point, and his only challenger will be Hendrick Cars, and there's going to be some team order shenanigans to back off and defend him.
I hate you for bringing that up.
You know it's going to happen.
I know.
We need to get every single Hendrick car in. He's already got the playoff waiver for the injury and the suspension. So.
Which is dumb to get a waiver for a suspension, but whatever.
Yeah. Especially that kind of suspension.
Yeah, when you intentionally wreck a guy?
Yeah.
So yeah, Blaney won a race finally. I think we kind of glossed over that point.
Oh, yeah.
And then he also ran to the crowd.
I guess that's... If that becomes a Penske thing, sure, I guess.
Oh, yeah, and Penske won both races.
Yeah.
Good week for them.
Very good weekend.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Blaney's finally got a win. Good for him. It's been a year and a half. Definitely deserves it. Did you bet on him?
Oh, I bet him on 2 different apps.
Okay, nice.
I sent it to the group, right? I won like $90 on Blaney winning.
Yeah. But
So I was like, yes.
yeah, well deserved.
And I bet on Newgarden.
Look at you go.
And Max.
Oh,
For
look at
you.
go. You didn't parlay it though.
No.
Coward.
No.
Coward behavior.
Nah. Anyway, is what it is.
But yeah, Coke 600 overall good.
Honestly, it was I think wasn't a good race meter for Jeff Gluck. Yeah, it had a very high, what was it, 90 something?
91.2% said yes. That makes it the number 1 oval race on the poll. It's edging out the 2019 All-Star race of 90.8 and last year's 600, which was a 90.6. This is the 27th race out of 277 to hit the 90% club.
That's fair.
And this is the number 2 race to Kansas.
Yeah, makes sense.
Makes total sense because I think Kansas with the distance and the better finish, because Blaney sort of ran away with it right at the end.
Which I loved because I was like, yes, go!
Yep.
Need the money!
Yep. But so Blaney running away with it maybe ruins the end a little bit, but for the just a shade short of 10% of people that didn't like it, what do you want? I don't know what you want from your flagship race other than your Daytona 500.
Honestly, I get it.
It wasn't on
I
Sunday.
don't get it.
It wasn't on Sunday and I couldn't watch it. It was Memorial Day. There's a good chance you could have watched unless you were working a different event. So, yeah.
So before we go over our predictions that Steven has, I want to ask each or you guys one question, and that is, do you feel there is anyone from the weekend that had a performance that needs to be shouted out? Didn't win, but they did well, and that you would kind of want to highlight, like, you know what, I just want to say, like, good for this person.
I already said mine in Pillow in terms of his recovery.
That's fair.
I'll try.
True, you did.
For me, it's Bubba Wallace.
Oh, that's not who I had in the top 10.
Fair, that's totally fair.
Like, because he was, I think with like 10 laps to go or something like that, was like 15th or something, and then by the end of the race, he raced himself all the way up to 4th. Like, he really came on in the end. He was strong. He looked strong most of the day. He had a bad, speeding on pit lane penalty that set him back almost a lap, and yeah. Was recovering from then, and to come 4th, like, if you don't have that penalty, you're fighting for the win.
Yeah.
And also, I, did select him in the predictions. I just want to say, he did good, but he didn't win.
I honestly don't know. I almost want to say Alonso. Like, he did really well, regardless of whether or not his team screwed him over. Like, I still think he drove a really fantastic Monaco. I think it was just bad luck.
I wonder if he chose the wrong tire too, because
maybe he did.
If I was him, I would have been a lot more pissed if they gave me the wrong tire and I had a chance to win. But he didn't really seem to care after, so I wonder if they asked him, "Do you want inters or do you want slicks?" And he said slicks, and they went, "Oh fuck, I shouldn't have done that." And that's why he's not as mad about it.
Yeah.
I don't know, but at the same time, I feel like Alonso doesn't strike me that way. I think he's too much thinking about the race when he's in the car that he just doesn't sweat it and just moves on.
But we know those questions definitely happen during a race, and we don't ever see that broadcast because that's strategy, and they're not going to actually broadcast actual strategy there. So I imagine that took place. At least in my head, that would explain why he wasn't as pissed off at not having a chance to win there.
If they say let's wait a lap, they instantly go out onto intermediates or wets.
Yeah.
I think it was just bad time. They made a call expecting Max to come in maybe for intermediates and gambled on it being dry.
Yeah.
And then it poured. So,
it was what it was. I still think he did fantastic.
Agreed. Honestly, great weekend by him.
Yeah. Anyways, my NASCAR top 10 driver, who finished 10th this week, Sean, in NASCAR.
It's LaJoy?
Nope, but he's replacing Elliot. So
who was it?
Zane Smith.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's
his
fair.
best ever Cup finish, finishing 10th. So, good job.
Wow.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
All right. Are we going to go over who won?
Yes, we can go over who won, because this is Been a long one. Okay, so Motorsports Christmas Draft. Let's just go over the teams quickly. Sean had Verstappen first. He had Bell and Wallace, VK, Rossi, Daly, and Rahal. So Bell finished 24th.
Okay.
Wallace finished 4th.
Not bad.
VK finished 10th.
Good recovery.
Rossi finished 5th.
Great drive.
Daly finished 8th.
That was awesome.
And poor Graham Rahal finished 22nd.
Barely started the race.
Yeah, that's what we didn't talk about. Was
Let's not talk about it.
Yee.
Move on.
Yee.
It's fine.
Next is Team Down Bad, aka me. I had Perez crash out in qualifying and he finished 16th. I had Chase Elliot trying to do bumper cars and then wrecking himself. He fucked around and found out very quickly and finished 34th.
Terrible driver.
William Byron second.
Trash.
Pato Award also being a little over aggressive and
Found the wall.
crashing out 24th. TK 16th for his last one. That's also what we didn't talk about. There was so much.
There really is.
The lawnmower, the fastest lawnmower. Okay, quick aside. Did you see the video that he put out afterwards?
No.
He got onto a lawnmower yesterday at the track and started doing donuts over the patch that you went over.
That's funny. Because he had all 4 wheels in the grass.
Oh, yeah.
That was a great.
I thought he was going to completely wreck. Anywho.
He went for it.
McLaughlin 14th and Castro Neves 15th. I should get extra points for a most wrecks and also a straight in the Indy 500. 14, 15, 16.
Doesn't work that way.
Damn it. Anyways, so Sean's total was 74. My total was 120. My total was 121.
Ooh. What's Taylor at?
Taylor had Alonso finish second.
Good choice. Could be first. First.
Larson 30th.
Ooh.
Chastain nowhere to be found in 22nd.
Wow, he had a bad day.
Yeah, he's been rough ever since Justin Marks told him to calm his tits.
Fair enough.
So Dixon 6th. This is where she catches up here.
Shit.
Ericsson 2nd.
Shit.
Newgarden 1st.
Shit.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
The one that does her in because she finished with 93 points, so less than 20 behind Sean. And if she picks anyone in the top 10 and doesn't take Roman fucking Grosjean finishing 30th,
I know.
she probably wins.
Thanks, Taylor.
Well,
winner.
Good job, Sean.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Any quick predictions for this weekend? You have Spain. Whoever qualifies will probably win that race. Detroit might be an absolute shit show with their split pit lane, and today it just looks bumpy as hell. Thoughts?
Detroit, I have no idea because that's.
I'm gonna guess Herta.
Sure.
Ugh, why?
He's good on street circuits.
I'm gonna say Grosjean. Why not?
I can't stand him, but honestly, that's not terrible.
No.
Wow, I love you.
You know the Andretti's are good on street circuits, so that isn't a bad pick. So
he's also not like as bad on
one.
courses.
No, exactly.
I'll say Rossi. He's really come into form the last couple races.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I like that pick.
Yeah, but yeah, it's gonna be interesting with that split pit lane. Newgarden and Ericsson were already practicing how to best enter on that last lap with the dragon move going towards the attenuator. It's like the same shit.
Sure. Yeah.
Kind of.
I'm not touching that one.
Yeah.
I don't have time to go into the stupid dragon move or where the fuck it is.
No. So, and I guess for NASCAR, I get a third driver in the 9 car to score my NASCAR.
You picked a really weird one with that for your yearly fantasy pick.
I know.
It is what it is.
Who would think Elliot would miss 7 races, 6 because of a broken leg, 1 because of a suspension, 6 races after he comes back from a broken leg?
Sucks to suck?
Yeah, I guess. I'm down bad in that one. Do we want to do a quick, since we're already here, we want to do a quick run through of our fantasy?
No. We'll do that next week. We already have we have a long one here, okay?
Yeah. Okay.
And for Spain, Max is going to win, obviously.
Yeah, probably.
No, I say Alonso.
Please,
Okay.
racing gods, wreck them both.
Yeah. Yeah, imagine it's Leclerc that wins and Taylor's pissed because she didn't pick him. And on that note, thank you very much for listening to this episode. We'll be back next week to talk about, everything that happened this weekend and more. So thank you and goodbye.
Thank you for tuning in to the Spare Parts Racing Podcast. Remember to subscribe so you don't miss an episode, and follow the show on Twitter at sparepartsracing. That's spareparts, RACIN, and on TikTok at sparepartspod. Follow the hosts at Sean Chavarella, at Stephen Clary, and at Tay Moore.